Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. In this video, I'm coming to you with a tarot reading about the month of November of 2025. So to pick your pile, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that there's this bright white light at the top of the universe. Breathe in as you pull this light down through your body with your breath. As you exhale, feel your heart center expand with this golden sphere of energy. Sit with that energy for just a moment and feel it. When you're ready, open your eyes and let your intuition guide you towards the card that is the best suited for you. I'll have the timestamps listed in the description below that will take you to your reading. Hey everybody that chose pile number 1, welcome to your reading. This is what you need to hear now for the month of November. So the card that we've chosen is card 2, titled Romance, and this is about Venus and Taurus. So I'm going to go ahead and read the book. Now, this can mean that you have Venus and Taurus, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. It can also mean that this is just the energy that you're embodying for the month. One thing that I do know about Venus and Taurus is that it does have this, it has this focus on luxury. And yes, romance is the title of this card, but I have a feeling that a lot of this has to do with romanticizing your life and finding the beauty and the love within all things within life. So the book says, Venus sits in its natural sign Taurus. The green planet and the green sign are both concerned with the beautiful, pleasurable things in life, and this card indicates affections that are constant, lasting, and stable. Venus Taurians love comfort, luxury, and beautiful surroundings, and direct their attention to achieving them. For this character, social status is based on wealth or artistic ability. People with this planet sign combination are possessive and happy to be possessed themselves, though. With their undoubted money-making skills, can take this to extremes, becoming overindulgent and greedy. Venus Taurians are good with physical and sensual contact, and for this reason do not just make good lovers, they can extend their talents to the hands-on arts. Modeling and sculpture come easy to the natives of this planet sign aspect. They have an expert feeling for the value of material things. Many singers have this Venus placing, and even Venus Taurians not blessed with this talent usually have a pleasing voice. Venus Taurians are great romantics, but consider a little opulence better than love in a garret, and can be wildly extravagant when impressing a loved one. When this card is drawn for a reading, it usually indicates for the questioner a pleasurable forthcoming event, probably with a little monetary gain attached. The best business relationship bet will succeed if concerned with one of the arts. So some events that are associated with this card, which you can attribute also to this month of November, are a love affair, a fortunate marriage, living happily in comfort, gaining through a love relationship, a windfall or gift from someone else. Again, I want to put the emphasis, though, on the feeling of luxury, as both Taurus and Venus are centered on that feeling of luxury, of things that seem pleasurable, of comfort. And I want you to even think about this in the sense of like pampering yourself or being able to take a rest or take a moment to yourself and enjoy the finer things in life, because these things are also what makes life worth living. Life is not all just this productivity thing, getting to the next moment. Stop, slow down, enjoy the moment, and really treat yourself, which is something to also be careful with, because you don't want to overindulge. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some tarot cards for you, pile number 1, and let's see what we've got. So the first thing, oh, yeah, that's crazy. I can't make this up. So we've got the 9 of Pentacles, which is exactly the card I was thinking about when it came to this, like that feeling of luxury and your fruits or your labor-bearing fruits. And it doesn't necessarily mean getting up, going out and working really hard and being productive, even though those might be elements that are involved with this month of November. But I feel like you guys are being very prosperous within the month of November, and you're also just enjoying the surroundings, enjoying your life in this moment. And this is also building up your foundation. Whenever these 9s come out, we got to think about the foundation that we're building for future future wealth or future, even future luxury, or just the future things that we want to experience. So let's see what else. We've also got the Hierophant. Sorry, the card just fell out. So with the Hierophant, this is really interesting as we're talking about like a spiritual teacher, but also this card does contain some difficulties in the sense of maybe somewhat of discipline, definitely doctrines. It contains the ability to break something down, even whether this is maybe a complex understanding or wisdom of something, being able to break it down into its parts and maybe even to digest it. So I think that this can have to do with taking in information from an outside source, but being able to make it your own, maybe based off of your own experience, your own lived experience with integrating this knowledge and wisdom within yourself, and being able to apply it to actual things that go on within your life. This is definitely a really powerful energy to be stepping into for this month, because you are being your own spiritual teacher. And you know what's so funny? The astrological association that is with the Hierophant is Taurus. So we are doubling down on this Taurus aspect. Again, yes, something that comes with doctrine and even discipline is stability. The thing about doctrine is we draw ourselves into things that give us a lot of structure. For example, like a religion or a spiritual religion. What am I trying to say? A tradition. Any kind of spiritual system, or even like the military or government. We draw ourselves into these places that have this high amount of discipline and structure and doctrine associated with it. Think about even indoctrination. Why do we draw ourselves into these places? We do it because we have this subconscious need for structure, and we want to go through some sort of alchemical process. And that is essentially what you're being called into. This does not mean, I want to be very clear when it comes to indoctrination, this does not mean to just take in whatever information from whatever place and just believe it. That is absolutely not what you want to do. You want to question things. You want to go to different sources. You want to explore what there is out there for you to explore. And you want to be able to take what you've taken in and externalize it. Do something with it and kind of just see what happens. Because from there, you can actually analyze the results, kind of like a spiritual scientist. And that is the goal, is for you to think about life yourself, not follow orders. This is about inner freedom and personal freedom. Yes, outside teachers do help us, but this is your calling. I'm telling you, you're being guided to not just take everything from outside sources. It's to be able to become your own spiritual teacher. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull another card for you, pile one. And interesting, we have another Pentacles card, which is going to be the Seven of Pentacles. Now, here's the thing when it comes to the suit of the Pentacles is, yes, it does have to do with money. It can have to do with our environment, hence the themes of luxury that I think keep coming about in this reading. Maybe even saving for a rainy day. That's one energy that we can attach to the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles, or the sevens in general, do represent victory in some sense, but this is going to be victory of the material. So this is going to be some sort of victory that happens within the environment, within the health, within money maybe, or career, but you're being called, I think, to go a little bit deeper. This whole reading is very earth-based. So we've got romance, which is Venus and Taurus. Okay, so earth with that Taurus in the sense of luxury. So this might be a bit more about your environment, I think. And we've got Nine of Pentacles, of course, earth. The Hierophant representing Taurus. What do we've got? We've got earth, and we've got the Seven of Pentacles, again, material. material gain or saving, maybe saving for a rainy day. We're also looking back at the work that we've put in. So this might even be a month for you of reflection. And while in America we have Thanksgiving, and attach whatever you want to with the idea of Thanksgiving. The beautiful thing about Thanksgiving is of course, the gratitude. So I want you to get focused on what it is that you're grateful for, even down to the specifics of your day-to-day life. What is it that you enjoy about each day? So if you have, like, at the end of the day, a tiny little gratitude list, these are 3 things that went right today, and here's why they went right. This is going to help you rewire your brain and focus on things that are going right versus things that are going wrong, because the human mind has a tendency to focus on things that are not going right. So that way we try to protect ourselves from danger, which makes sense, but sometimes it gets in our way. This is another thing that will help you refocus on the luxury that you're experiencing within your life. So I want you to really take that into consideration as you go into the month of November. Focus on the feeling of, being within your clothes. How do your clothes feel on you? What is it that you like about your home or your apartment? Your pets, how does it feel to just lay on the couch with your pets or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other, your spouse? What does it feel like to just enjoy like a cup of coffee or tea or like a good meal, or even working out? There are some things that we don't always think of as luxurious, but how can we romanticize those things even? That is something that I want you to think about and focus on for the month of November. And you're going to attract more of these energies to yourself by doing that. All right, so I'm going to pull just a couple more cards. All right, let's see what we've got for these Tree of Life Oracle cards. I have Da'ath, which is knowledge, and it says abyss, secrets, lessons yet to be realized. And Da'ath is associating it with the abyss. It is crossing from human consciousness or even macrocosmic consciousness into what we would call divinity or God. And this is about finding that within the self and even stepping into this place of emptiness or even unmanifested within the self. Well, so many of us are afraid, I think, of our emptiness, and you might be called to go deeper into the emptiness if that makes any sense, if that resonates with you. I don't know if I made this meditation already. Maybe I did on this channel. There's a meditation where you just go into the emptiness and you descend. You descend into this ocean, into this darkness for like 20 minutes. Might sound too intense, and it might be too intense for a lot of people watching this, so I get that. But take your attention into whatever emptiness. We tend to try to fill our emptiness in our life with whatever things, because we are afraid of being bored, or we're afraid of being alone, we're afraid of silence. I encourage you to do the opposite. I encourage you to dive deeper into the silence, to dive deeper into time alone, not diving into isolation. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you have these moments of boredom that pop up, and you have these moments of these gaps within time that you want to fill, and even to the intensity that it actually hurts, that you really want to fill this time with something, I encourage you to do the opposite. I encourage you to really sit with it and let it rest. And I think that just by doing this, it might fix like 80% of your problems. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I encourage you to try it and commit to it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull. I think I have 2 more cards to pull. All right, what do we got for you, pile number 1? It says, these are not times for the weak of heart. So this is card number 40. I'm going to pull the book on this because I want to see exactly what it says. I know that I've pulled this card before, and sometimes this talks about being able to, get through times that could be dark. That doesn't mean November is dark. We have a lot of themes of focus on gratitude and luxury, and even romanticizing life, or even enjoying romance with a partner, and all of that kind of stuff. We've got really happy times in November. So don't be alarmed by this card. It says, these are not times for the weak of heart. Some circumstances ask us to rally, white knuckle through, or pull those big grown up bootstraps. So this is one of those times, and it might mean just white knuckling our way through not the month, but if there's a particular moment that you're experiencing now as we're going into the month of November, you've got to keep your eyes forward. You got to keep moving through it. Each moment is a new moment. Each day is a new day. Whatever circumstances that we find ourselves in or situations, they don't have to define us, but they can propel us and get closer and closer to whatever goals that we have, or to a place of peace or respite. Now, I have one last card, and I end every reading out with some sort of affirmation. So let's see what affirmation we've got for you, pile 1. Oh, I love this card. Okay, it says, I am the writer of my own destiny. May creativity flow into me to manifest my dreams and desires. And it's kind of like what I was just saying, and that ties right into the emptiness, honestly, of diving into these moments of silence, because they can be very rare, actually, when we have those gaps, and that's the abyss that we want to cross. These gaps are something for us to kind of sit with. That is the unmanifest. These moments of complete nothingness are unmanifested. And if we sit with them long enough and observe them, we can watch manifestation unfold. And this is the place of beautiful, beautiful creativity and growth. So I encourage you to go into that, and you will see yourself manifest, and you will see yourself be the writer of your reality, and it will continue to unfold. If this resonated with you, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe for more content. And I also want to say I have a course with studying tarot. It's really for beginners within tarot. So if you want to check that out, it's a live course, and it starts on Monday, I believe, the first Monday of November, or Tuesday. Gosh, I can't remember. Just check out the link in the description below if you're interested, and sign up for it. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time. Hey everybody that chose pile number 2, welcome to your reading. The card that you've chosen is Innovation, which is representing Jupiter within Aquarius. And Aquarius is the sign of innovation. It falls right in the middle of winter, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, which I think can be representing people and our ability to innovate, like human consciousness, and being able to come together to overcome obstacles, overcome even the darkness, and even to prepare ourselves for the return of light, the return even of consciousness, if we're talking allegorically and esoterically. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading the book on this. And before I do that, I just want to say this can mean that you have Jupiter in Aquarius. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It can also just represent the energy for this month of November that's coming for you. So it says, in developing and enhancing life, Jupiter Aquarians gain a great deal through involvement with reforms, social organizations, and good causes. The interests of their fellow humans are important to people with this planet sign combination and a code of ethics that is universal and has great appeal. Unusual philosophies, religions, or occult science will prove an attraction throughout life, since Jupiter Aquarians are broad-minded and always open to new ideas. Most of their life goals will be achieved with friends and in group activities, as their concern for humanity at large tends to increase their popularity. The Jupiter Aquarians' interest in new ways of seeing people and community activities enable people with this combination to carry out large and constructive endeavors with success. These may be of a charitable or humanitarian nature, carried out in the name of religious, educational, or fraternal organizations. The negative side of this planet sign combination can manifest as an excessive changeability and eccentric behavior, to the extent that friends and partners, Learn not to rely on Jupiter Aquarians. Their minds can be so inventive and scattered that they diffuse their potential wastefully. In a reading, this card can indicate a totally new approach to a problem. It may involve the help of clever and talented friends, as Aquarius rules the 11th house of friendship. So I was going to say that too when we're talking about relationships and friendships and humans coming together, and the innovation that can even come about through a group even. Think about that. So here are some events that are associated with this card and that also may be associated with the upcoming month. So work on an original idea, being involved with a new invention, an avant-garde group formed to benefit or educate others using ingenuity to help the less fortunate. I don't know. My mind is scattered as I'm trying to read this. So I can definitely see the scatteredness even of the energy itself. But it has this generation energy to it. If you look at the symbolism on the card, I mean, we can see the Ankh, the key of life. We have that, which is also can be associated with immortality, and some of the symbol. We have three of this symbol on here, which is kind of looking like a ribbon. So even thinking about like putting a nice pretty bow on something. I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these tarot cards to get further clarification, but I'm very curious about what exactly this innovation is meaning for you, pile number 2. So pile 2, let's see what we've got for you for your tarot cards. I've got the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is definitely associated with innovation in some way, in the sense that we have this love for the truth. We have this love and maybe even devotion for getting justice, getting to the bottom of things, using the mind in a particular way. It could have to do with communication, love for communication. So again, maybe support of other people, all of that kind of stuff is still here. Now, we have the 9 of Cups as well. So the 9 of Cups is about gain, and gain especially when it comes to your fulfillment, and what is it that makes you happy? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What are your goals? Where are you going within your life? Now, all of these cups are lined up kind of like trophies. So I encourage you to really think about what is it that you feel like is rewarding to you? What makes you feel like you are successful? And this can go into some materialistic things. It can mean money and career and all of that kind of stuff. And if there are any kinds of endings to any of those things, I want you to keep an open mind and ask yourself what space opens up and where is your foundation already? Where is your foundation when it comes to your intuition and your ability to create, honestly? And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So, oh my God, that's crazy. It is the card of Jupiter. This happened with pile number 1 as well, where it's like all the cards had to do with Taurus in some way, or Earth, or something like that. And this one seems to have this energy of success and maybe finding our way through success and finding out what's fulfilling, or maybe starting to take steps towards that direction and all that kind of stuff. And Jupiter is associated with expansion, and we're pulling the Wheel of Fortune. And I had also just mentioned maybe even endings of some things. It is possible that you have like a dark cloud with a silver lining, and it's not necessarily that, no, that's going to be for a select few of you people. So if you have a dark cloud, know that you have a silver lining, and what goes up comes down, and what is down comes up. You can always stay centered. What is the secret to the Wheel of Fortune is that there is a center, and if you stick with that center, you be the center, then there really is no ups or downs. So if there is kind of like an ending, it's also a window or a door to a new chapter. And I know that sounds kind of cliche or maybe cheesy, but I want you to really internalize that statement that nothing is truly ending or over, or you could even think of it as everything is temporary. Even life itself, or living within a physical body, is temporary, but life still continues as consciousness still goes, consciousness still expands, it still expands and contracts. It has all of these systems and phases that it goes through, as you do. So this Wheel of Fortune is also a really positive card in the sense that there is fortune, and wherever the wheel kind of lands, this might be the thing that's meant for us. It has to do with fate, and we can control, to some degree, our fate by controlling the inside. So again, staying at the center. So you have this theme of presence, especially in regards to expansion and manifestation. So maybe that's something for you to think about and look into for this month of November. But I do think that there might be a big event that comes in November that kind of shows you maybe your resilience. Maybe it will show you your strengths and capabilities and your manifestation powers and where is it that you shine. I think that that's definitely something that could be coming up too. So now I'm going to pull some cards for extra confirmation for you guys. Pile number 2. What do we got for you? We have the Fool, and the Fool is like a kind of like a new beginning. I mean, it is a 0 in the sense that it is representing nothingness in some aspect or an absence. So it's taking a leap of faith. It does represent freedom and trust. So it is saying, well, okay, yes, if one chapter closes and a new one opens, are we going to take the jump? Are we going to take a leap in consciousness and expand? These are things to really think about deeply as you move forward. With this month, I think that similar to Pile 1, maybe you want to watch Pile 1 too. I don't know, but we were talking a little bit about emptiness, so there's this aspect of 0 there as we were getting into Pile 1 and talking about luxury and maybe money or the health of the body, environment, all that kind of stuff. We were getting into that, but I think that some of that might apply to you guys here in Pile number 2, in the sense that this emptiness or even this leap, it's unknown. That's the thing about emptiness. That's the thing about the void and that space, is that it's unknown. But what is space? I mean, space is freedom, and space is, and I don't mean this to sound confusing, but it is the space. It is the area where something grows. It is where something expands. We're not going to expand if we don't have space. So if something is clearing itself, let it expand for you. Let it unfold and just see what happens as this growth happens. All right, so I'm going to pull a couple more cards. Let's see what we've got for you, Pile 2. Okay, it says, I'm a citizen of the planet. Oh, I love this card because it's kind of reminding me of you can go anywhere in the world. You're not limited to this one place, the city, the town that you live in, or if you live in the country, or you're not limited to the place, the state, the country that you live in. The world is so big and open, and you can go anywhere and do anything. And we tend to limit ourselves and say, I've got to stick here. Like, I don't know what would happen if I left America, but actually, the world is freeing and opening, and of course you can't just live anywhere. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some places you definitely should stay away from because of certain things, but we don't have to limit ourselves to this one place, to this one spot, to this one neighborhood. I'm going to pull the book because I want to see what it says specifically, but we have all these imaginary borders and boundaries and all of this kind of stuff, and I mean, like I said, it's open. These borders and boundaries, and they're imaginary. Let's see. This is card number 20. You guys might be into pile 1. I mean, 40 divided by 2 is 20. The card that we had for pile 1 was card 40. Okay, so it says, I'm a citizen of the planet. The value of jumping, there we go, jumping, taking the leap of faith. The value of jumping between microcosmic details of life and the macrocosmic effects of the small choices that we make in life, seeing our effect on reality. Feeling connected to the myriad cultures and different approaches that other cultures outside of our own take, allowing this to serve as inspiration. So this is my way of telling you to look into, maybe this doesn't mean like leave the country and leave your neighborhood or anything like that. Don't go do that and say my tarot reader told me to leave to leave the country. No, absolutely not. But if you are in a situation where you are leaving, let this be your comfort that the world is open and these boundaries and borders are imaginary. That doesn't mean that people don't believe in them and won't, enforce their beliefs and structures onto you. But let this be a way of exploring other cultures, whether this is other spiritual traditions, religions, or other ways of thinking or ways of living, or even in governments or different systems. That all of these things, be open to exploring these different things and all these unique aspects that makes the collective of humanity what it is. It's just fascinating. So be open to that and don't close yourself off to the whole, you've got the whole thing of like cultural appropriation, blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, this is the point of being a citizen of the planet, is that you are human and you're not just your culture, and you're really not just the place that you live in or the neighborhood or your social economic status and all of that kind of stuff. You actually are connected on a deep subconscious level to all that exists, and there are no limitations or boundaries to that. And of course, within reason, without being, just straight up offensive or derogatory or anything like that towards different people of different cultures and different backgrounds and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, that's a thing too, but to be able to open yourself and let yourself explore the ideas and the integrations that could possibly take place within the self, I think that that's something that you're being called to do within this month of November. And I'm going to close this out with a affirmation card. So what affirmation do we have for pile number 2? It says, I am actively healing. May I continue to accept the healing energy sent by the universe. I love that. All right, pile number 2. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. If it resonated with you, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe for more content. I also have a course where I'm teaching the basics of tarot. It's just a week. It's like a tarot week with the Esoteric cross. And if you want to check that out, check out the link in the description below to sign up for it if you're interested. It starts next week, the first week of November. So make sure to sign up soon if you want to. And thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you all next time. Hey everybody that chose pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So what you've got for the month of November, the card that we have here is Power, which is represented by the moon in Scorpio. This could mean that you have your moon in Scorpio. It could mean that Scorpio moon is significant to you in some way, but it really just represents the energy that is surrounding you this month and this theme, which is associated with power. So I'm going to go ahead and read the book so we can get some deeper insights to what exactly this might represent. Here are some things that are associated, or like self-control and regeneration, as Scorpio is kind of like the sign of death in some way. So let's get into this. Scorpio moon people have very strong feelings and form lasting emotional attachments. Intensely loyal they are, however, susceptible to brooding, jealousy, and strong emotional outbursts. The moon is traditionally in its fall in Scorpio, meaning autumn. And so this is not a sign in which emotions are freely expressed. Often, An immense conservation of emotional energy is released in an intense and extreme manner. People with this combination can hold a grudge longer than most, but find no sacrifice too great for a loved one. Moon Scorpios can at times be overwhelmed by intense emotional reactions and almost psychic sensitivity to others. These qualities are helpful in developing an aptitude for healing and counseling. Certainly, with all this emotional energy, Moon Scorpios find some kind of work helping the less fortunate fulfilling. Family matters are rarely smooth for people with this aspect, often involving seemingly causeless separations. Moon Scorpios are potentially very sensual, and when overindulged, this can lead to problems. With the extreme emotional power that this combination engenders, the old adage that Scorpios make the most powerful friends and most destructive enemies becomes a reality. When this card is drawn, it usually involves emotional fireworks, passion or hate, enthusiasm or indifference. There is rarely a middle ground. Often, the card indicates an inheritance that could radically change life. So some events that are associated with this card, which also are probably associated with this month of November, are powerful emotional situations, a secret suddenly revealed, psychological problems, an inheritance, love turning to hate, or vice versa. So please do not take any of this as a bad omen. We're going to walk through it together and talk about what exactly this means. And I'm going to pull some tarot cards for more clarification on what this can possibly represent. But I just want to bring your attention to what power really is, which is bringing my mind to the Tree of Life and that sphere called Gebra, if you're familiar with Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. And we've got this really Mars-heavy sphere associated with Mars. And it's about strength and power, but also judgment, severity. This is, we're talking about being able to break something down into its parts, to cut things away, remove things from our life. It could be associated with hate. It's on the side of judgment, not necessarily the side of mercy. So it's not about opening and expanding and love and all of that. It can be love in a very boundaried and structured way, if used properly. But power is like the ability to squash something. Think about just walking through a garden and you see a spider and you're much bigger than the spider. You have the ability to squash it. That is power. It's knowing that something is in your hands. So, and I want you to think about that. And for example, within your marriage, within your relationship, with even your pets, the way that people look up to you, if you're a leader, that you have this power that can kind of be invisible. It's like this force. And even if it's like a marriage, like it's a two-way street, right? But you have power within that marriage, meaning you can outburst and you can completely destroy the entire thing. You can completely destroy your job that you're in. You have the power to destroy a lot of things in your life if you wanted to, or if you were unconscious enough to do that. So power, that is more on the negative sides of power. But then if we look at the positive sides of power, okay, well, within our relationship, we have the ability to rebuild. We have the ability to save that spider in the garden, or just observe the spider being what it is, living and doing what it does, and even see the beauty and all of the things that it does, that it contributes to the garden, or even within our partner, or within the people who are under us, like at our job, or above us at our job, or the power that exists all around us, and what we can and cannot do, maybe. That is the best way I feel like I can explain power, at least at the moment. And maybe that means nothing to you at this moment as you're listening to this. But maybe meditate on this daily or weekly as we go throughout this month of November and just kind of see where this power comes up for you in your life. Because the more that you focus on it, the more that you become aware of it, the more power that you see that you have in these places, and the easier it is to make better decisions. Like I was saying, sometimes we go unconscious and we unknowingly really kind of destroy many aspects of our lives. Sometimes that serves a purpose. Sometimes, well, I like to say that it all serves a purpose in some way, but it can be the motivation or the fuel for us to kind of wake up and see where we play our part and take accountability in some way. So I know that that might be a little scary, but whatever. We're just going to pull some tarot cards and see what we've got for you, pile 3. All right. We have the King of Wands. Yeah. So we have this authoritative power, fire being very powerful. It is the element that is associated with the spiritual body, its creativity, its force. And then we have this king, which is externalized power, taking action, doing something. But it is more balanced in the sense that it comes from a place of wisdom. So that's good. And we also have the Page of Pentacles. So the way I like to interpret that Page of Pentacles is looking at it as the love for the environment, love for money. I look at all the pages like it's the love for that element. So the love for your career or planting a seed, doing something that's important. I mean, we have this fertile space that's around us, and we have this ability to make change, even though if it takes a long time, right? It can take a while to grow this garden and to have effective change and be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. But at least here we're starting to plant the seeds, and we're taking a hard look at ourselves and our surroundings and seeing what part we play within that. Now I have the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is representing victory. It represents the ability to overcome really any situation that we find ourselves in. It's power again. We're talking about wands. We're talking about fire, that fire energy, the force energy. And this is being able to, like, it's finding the strength. Again, the power, the theme is still going back to power. You have the power to overcome whatever obstacle is being placed in front of you. And I'm not saying the month of November is going to have a specific obstacle, but what I think that this is it might be a bit more of a past obstacle, maybe something having to do with the month of October, or maybe something that's just you've been struggling with this year. But what you're able to finally do at this moment is to defend, become more resilient, find where your power lies within the situation, and take effective action to actually change something, to do something different. Now, I'm going to pull a couple more cards for you guys. All right, so what do we got for pile number 3 in terms of oracle cards? Okay, wow. You have a lot of synchronicities here because you've got the 19th path on the Tree of Life, which is strength. It can also be called lust. And this is defending the weak, peacekeeping, sincerity. At least that's what it says on the card. But I want to go a bit deeper with this because when we're talking about strength, it's so funny because this is the whole theme is the strength and the power and blah, 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 blah. We know that cards talk to us. So it's not a surprise. This is finding your higher power, your higher self. That's what's happening within the card. The lion represents the lower, maybe the more animalistic self. We have this reaction, and the higher self comes in and calmly closes the mouth of the lion. That's not exactly what we see in this particular image, but that's the typical image of strength. And then we have the other name for the card, which is lust. So that's pretty obvious on what that is representing. And it can represent even the animalistic desire for certain things within life, which goes beyond the whole sensuality kind of stuff. It even goes into the realms of food, or we could even be talking about addictions or a compulsion to want to fill the space or fill the boredom, which was a theme in the last couple piles. But for you guys, I think that this might be it might be a little bit different. It might be being able to watch the reactions, the reactive self, or be able to watch the animalistic self get triggered in its way that it does, and to coexist with it. Because it's not about removing animalistic instincts. We are in a human body for a reason. We are here. We are material for a reason. It's not about just overcoming these things. What it is being able to integrate them and marry them and have them coexist together. And I would encourage you to explore that and whatever that might mean for you. So this can also be like the power and the mercy, and being able to hold both of those things at the same time. To be able to hold the strength and the mercy, to be able to hold the love and the hate, to be able to hold the expansion and the contraction, what is building and what is being torn down, to be able to hold these things at the same time. That is what I think you're being challenged with this month. And I would just encourage you to meditate on that on a daily basis or weekly basis, or do these check-ins with yourself throughout the month. I think that would be really important for you guys. All right, so I have really 2 cards left for you. Let's see what we've got for you, pile 3. It says Cosmic Tears. And I'm going to pull the book on this. So it's 28, card 28. Allowing ourselves to be influenced by the cosmic and celestial, and fostering areas of study that can link us to the legacy of our past, as well as realizing what is possible as we move forward. That seems so vague. I'm not gonna lie, that does seem very vague, but it might mean something to you. And one of the words that pops out for me here is study, areas of study. We've got influenced by the cosmic and celestial. Maybe there's something important that you resonate within that statement, or maybe it has to do with like going out at night and seeing the stars. Maybe it's very specific to that. Maybe it is just meditating on divinity, or just the processes of being human, of connection, and exploring how that relates to you on an individual level and how you play a part. That might be more personal, though, to you. So I have one last card, and this is going to be your affirmation. So let's see what we've got for you, pile 3. What is your affirmation? It says, I am the key to opening doors in my life. May the positive doors on my path always open. You are the key, but you have the ability to open any door that you want to within life. I hope that this reading has resonated with you. If so, please leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe for more content. I so much enjoy doing these readings. If you want a personal reading done by me, you can check that out in the link in the description below. Also, what you'll find in the link in the description below is a course on tarot. It's for beginners, and it starts next week, the first week of November. And if you want to do that and have conversations with me and walk through the tarot cards, I would love to have you join in on that. So check that out if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time.